man, what's going on, Read My Lips people? We are back, and I'm here to talk about some Andrew Yang. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I did a pre-debate video on Andrew Yang. If you haven't watched it, you can click it in the link above. And video, I said some specific things that I thought was going to happen post-debate. And so we're here now to talk about them. So, one of the things I had said was I thought Andrew Yang was going to be the biggest winner of that debate, of the third Democratic debate. And he is. I was right. Right now, he is the most talked about candidate since that debate, or pertaining to that debate. He is also the most Googled candidate right now. Andrew Yang gets Googled 170% more than Joe Biden. And since April, the searches for Andrew Yang on Google have grown 191%. So he, people are talking about him, and his website, the Yang 2020 website, has gotten more traffic than it has ever. Now, there is a reason for that. It's not just because he did well during the debate. There's a reason for that. As far as the traffic goes, there is a caveat. And look, to be quite frank, on Twitter, Bernie Sanders gets talked about the most. On Twitter, Bernie Sanders gets mentioned more time than Biden, Buttigieg, Warren, Castro, and Cory Booker combined. Right? Combined. So you're not fucking with Bernie on Twitter. However, Andrew Yang is also performing fairly well on Twitter. He has tweeted about 1.4 times more than Joe Biden, despite there being such a large gap in the polls. Right? So people fuck with Yang. People are talking about Andrew Yang. And Yang announced something during this debate that blew people out of the water. We're gonna watch it, and we're gonna come back. And I really want you to pay attention to the end. Pay attention to the end of this clip and look at the smugness of Buttigieg and Kamala Harris. And then we're gonna come back.
In America today, everything revolves around the almighty dollar. Our schools, our hospitals, our media, even our government. It's why we don't trust our institutions anymore. We have to get our country working for us again, instead of the other way around. We have to see ourselves as the owners and shareholders of this democracy, rather than inputs into a giant machine. When you donate money to a presidential campaign, what happens? The politician spends the money on TV ads and consultants, and you hope it works out. It's time to trust ourselves more than our politicians. That's why I'm going to do something unprecedented tonight. My campaign will now give a freedom dividend of $1,000 a month for an entire year to 10 American families, someone watching this at home right now. If you believe that you can solve your own problems better than any politician, go to yang2020.com and tell us how $1,000 a month will help you do just that. This is how we will get our country working for us again, the American people.
Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
That's good. Okay.
It's original, I'll give you that. The American people are divided.
So yeah, you got the gist. Andrew Yang is doing sort of a UBI contest. And 10 American families, are going to get $1,000 a month for a year. That's $12,000 extra for that year. Now, again, I'm a Bernie Sanders supporter, but UBI is an incredible thing that Yang is running on, and it's one of the many things that puts him in my top 3. So if Bernie Sanders won and became POTUS, I'd be ecstatic. If Tulsi Gabbard became POTUS, I'd be ecstatic. If Andrew Yang became POTUS, I'd be ecstatic. I don't have an issue with any of those three becoming president of the United States, but my support is on Team Bernie. However, UBI is amazing. Now I'm going to paint a picture for you. So hang tight, hang with me. If you guys are tuned in right now, hang with me. I'm going to paint a picture for you. So say there's a guy, I'm going to name him Rick. And say Rick works 40 hours a week, okay? Rick lives in Connecticut. I'm going to choose Connecticut because obviously I'm very familiar with Connecticut. And the cost of living varies depending on where you live. But let's say Rick lives in Connecticut. Let's say Rick brings home $2,600 a month. He works full time, and he's got a decent paying job. It's not fantastic, but it's not a shit job either. And he brings home $2,600 a month, right? And Rick is just able to pay the bills. He has no quality of living. Rick can't decide to up and take a vacation somewhere. People always say, oh, just save, but there is no chance to save, right? Those people that say just save have extra money to save. Rick can't save. Rick is paying all the bills to keep a roof over his head, to keep electricity in his apartment, and just to survive, right? He's caught in this sort of loop, right? He's living, but he's not alive. And he happens to get UBI happens to be passed, and Rick happens to get $1,000 a month. Rick's life will change. His quality of living will change exponentially. Like, the people can't argue, right, that UBI itself would change people's lives significantly. Now, if you want to argue amongst how to implement UBI, I know there's different versions of it. Yang has his own version. There's different versions of UBI. But for somebody like a Rick, or for somebody like a struggling mom, or for a family that's barely keeping it together with kids, that $1,000 a month will be life-changing. And it's interesting because $1,000 itself in today's standard isn't shit, right? So if you were to just when people argue like, oh, they're not gonna want to work, you give them $1,000, they're not gonna want to work. $1,000 by itself isn't shit, right? So you give somebody $1,000, there's not much they can do with it. They're not living on their own. They're not gonna just be able to quit work. It's when you add that $1,000 on top of an already working person that it starts to make a difference. So the $1,000 itself doesn't mean shit. It's when you put that icing on that cake that the quality of living changes. So Andrew Yang, for 10 families, announced during the third Democratic debate that he's going to send them, or they have a chance to win $1,000 a month for a year. And pretty much you go to yang2020.com, I believe that's his website, and you just you sign up with your email, your first and last name, your zip code, I believe, and it ends sometime in September. I'm thinking September 19th. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comment section. I think it ends September 19th, and by November they will announce the winners, and those people are going to get $1,000 for the rest of for a year. And I guarantee it's gonna help people. For Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg to so smugly and condescendingly laugh at Buttigieg, I don't know, oh, that's original, I gotta admit that. Yes, it's original, and you have no originality. Like, you're a canvas. You're a blank corporate canvas, and they're slowly filling you up with their corporate bullshit. Same with Kamala Harris. You guys have nothing original. You have nothing to bring to the table, right? We're done with people like you. And let's just be clear. last I checked, Andrew Yang is tied with Kamala Harris. So let's get this right. This outsider that nobody knew about 7 minutes ago, nobody gave two fucks about Andrew Yang, has now tied with once the Democratic darling Kamala Harris. How dare you? How dare you be so smug? You got nothing to offer. You got nothing. You ain't nothing. 150 pounds of nothing. Hold on. My cell phone's ringing. Hello? Yeah, it's nothing. He says he knows you. You ain't nothing, okay? You're not offering anything. And you got Andrew Yang offering something different. And it's exciting. All right? And that's why he's in my top 3. Now, let me knock some shit out real quick. There are people saying that Andrew Yang is trying to buy votes. Wrong. Congratulations. You're wrong again. He's not buying votes. You don't have to vote for Andrew Yang to take part in this freedom dividend contest he has, right? You can be a stark Republican and still win. I'm voting for Bernie. If I were to apply for the $1,000 a month for a year, I could still get it. You're literally not buying votes, right? You don't have to vote for Andrew Yang to win it. So for those saying that he's buying votes, you sound stupid, because you probably are stupid, right? Criticize him on things that actually hold substance. If you just don't agree with UBI in general, fine, say that. But to say he's buying votes is slander, and it's a lie. Okay? So kudos to Andrew Yang. And, you know, Amy Klobuchar, I don't even know why she's still in here, right? She also has a smug look on her face. So much. And like Bill Maher said something stupid, like voting about a centrist like Klobuchar. She is the least Googled and the least talked about candidate on any platform. Nobody cares about you. Bow out. I'm gonna need you to step aside, right? You're not holding anybody's interest. And if you looked at my winners and losers videos, if you haven't, they're gonna be up above in the card. Click those. Give a watch to those. I didn't even mention Booker. I didn't even mention Beto O'Rourke because they're wallpaper. They're just there. They weren't even worth mentioning. They're just wallpaper. Like they're not. I'm not even acknowledging them enough to put them in the winners or losers. It's annoying. Like it's time for people to start bowing out. And Andrew Yang is offering something different, and I gotta commend him on it. I gotta say, I called it. I said he'd be the most talked about candidate. I said he'd be the most Googled candidate after that debate, for that debate. He gets 170% more searches than Biden. And searches for Andrew Yang has grown 191%. All right. He hasn't hit as many as, he's not talked about as much as a Bernie Sanders. But for somebody who has came out of the woodwork, right? For somebody who's an outsider, for somebody who, really wasn't knee deep into politics like a lot of these other people, wasn't a mayor or anything like that. For somebody like an Andrew Yang, that's huge. It's huge, and I commend him. And this isn't. I've done my research on Yang. From what I understand, this isn't the first time he's held a contest like this, where he's given somebody for a year a UBI type deal. But this is just a larger scale. You know what I mean? So he's done this before. It is perfectly legal, right? People are wondering, is this even legal? Can you? Yeah, this is perfectly legal. Why wouldn't he be able to give? He can give anybody whatever the hell he wants to. It's perfectly legal, and kudos. And And I look forward to seeing in November what happens with these people who win this UBI. I don't know if they're going to get interviewed. I don't know, what's going to entail with the winners. Like if they have to come out and reveal themselves, I'm pretty sure they'll have to. But it's going to be life-changing. And I called it. Andrew Yang, UBI contest. If you feel like you can use $1,000 a month for a year, go sign up. And you do not have to vote for Andrew Yang to obtain that. But yeah, I called it. And that's that. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Are you going to go sign up for Andrew Yang's UBI contest? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm curious. And hopefully I'll be talking to you guys soon. Have a good one. Peace.